It started as the Louisville Deaf Oral School in 1948, but now it is the Heiser Hearing Institute, and there's so much to talk about, a very rich history and doing so many positive things in the community. With me now is my friend, Brett Bachmann, although you kind of jumped back and said, you know, John, maybe we're not so much friends, right?
Well, you know, I mean, it really depends on the payments, brother. You know, I mean,
Thanks, Brett.
No. No, you're friends. You know, the problem is I'm just jealous because you look better every time I see you, and I just get older.
Now, I'm gonna totally disagree with that, but I'll tell you one thing, you're doing good work in the community,
yeah.
And I do believe in what you do, because I remember when it was the Louisville Deaf Oral School. I may not go back to 1948, but I do remember, and it does have a rich history. And the thing I love the most is your technology first rate? Is it state of the art? Yes, but you're still giving back to the community.
Yes. Well, even utilizing our services gives back to the community, you know, because we take any revenues that are generated from our clinical services that we do for our older patients. They go right back into our education programs for the kids that are born with hearing issues and some apraxic issues in those areas. We've expanded a whole lot during the pandemic. You know, our kids were particularly hit hard with a distance learning and remote learning, and then the masks and all those other things. We try and get around it as much as you can with clear masks and those things, but nothing for kids with hearing issues. And you'll notice as an adult, when you go out to restaurants, if you have hearing issues, how much you lose. Now imagine if a child who is used to reading lips in addition to hearing or in addition to their equipment also now can't see the teacher's face. So we worked a lot on that. In fact, we even hired a social worker that specializes in this to help navigate those kids and help with some of the mental health issues that have come out of the pandemic for these kids.
That's interesting, and you may have answered my question, because I was going to ask you about your First Steps program during COVID, and while we were all like, you know, cabin fever, that had to be really challenging.
It really is. I mean, look, we did the best that we could. The state did the best that it could with the knowledge that it had at the time, and it's really easy to go backwards and say, well, we did everything wrong and all the other stuff. But at the very beginnings, nobody knew how to do anything. We did what we could. We got, you know, we set up 800 numbers for the parents and adults to call us about any kind of hearing issues, if we could help them with the equipment. We did a lot of things with the retirement facilities to make sure their equipment was working and taken care of. I think that now, as hopefully we come out of it, you know, the kids are coming back, and now we just, like I said, we didn't have a social worker before, and we saw what the need was, and that was, you know, and that's a direct relation to kids being at home. You know, they're used to being in schools, and our population exactly is very difficult for that teaching process. But I think we did a great job with it. Our teachers did a great job. The combination that we had between, you know, JCPS and what Heiser was able to add on to what JCPS was able to provide enabled our kids to do better than a lot of deaf or hard of hearing kids in other programs around the country. Some
people may think, and it would be a misconception, it'd be a mistruth, you think Louisville Deaf Oral School, okay, that's old time. There's no way they have the hold of all the, you know, the technology. But the Heiser Hearing Institute stepped in, and as far as state of the art, you guys are respected throughout the country. So again, I like the combination of giving back, and if you want the very best in hearing aids or whatever the case may be, you're the place to go.
Yeah, I mean, part of what we're proudest of is we do make sure that our technology is the very top that you get. In fact, that's one of the reasons at the Institute we have a whole research department. We work with one of the largest hearing aid manufacturers in the world on their research and development for new things, new algorithms, how to improve hearing care. All those other things are done at Heiser as well. And so, you know, I mean, we do so much more. Started out with education and saw how much more the community needed, and we just rise to the challenge every time we see a new one.
I'm curious, during the pandemic, you have to look long and hard for positives. But one of the positives may have been that perhaps people my age and older are, you know, watching TV and they're noticing that they have to turn up the volume, and maybe because you spend so much time with your spouse, he or she noticed and said, hey, you may need some help with your hearing because you're spending more time and you're noticing little things like that. And what would you say to people who are saying, you know, it's not that bad yet? I think they would be surprised at what they've got accustomed to, what their new norm is, and what it can possibly be to live a really fulfilled life. Hearing is a big part of that.
It's huge. Yeah. So, I mean, if you've been raised in the hearing world, and that is your life. That is everything, because people around you are used to you being able to hear what they say. And so one of the positives aspects about it was not only what you just said, is people noticing the first time they were struggling, but now their family members noticed it. Because if you're Zooming with somebody and they're having a hard time hearing, or their equipment's not working properly, that family member's going, wow, is this what it's like for you all the time? You know, and so then they're more supportive. And you're right, people, hearing is so slow that it happens, you don't really notice it. And then, but you do notice that you're no longer going to restaurants that you used to go to, that you are moving towards a quiet corner in another room. You know, all of that affects your, you know, your social isolation. And as that increases, you don't notice that all of a sudden now you're not going out as much and you're more isolated, and then you get depressed, and all those things kind of wind up on it. And so what we try to do at Heiser is we look at the whole patient, the whole child, and we say, okay, is there something that can happen with diet, like with tinnitus? There's different things that you do, caffeine, and I'm not the audiologist, my wife, and I've got great audiologists, and they have all these things, and we look at alternative medicine and functional medicine and all those things that we try and do, and hearing is a part of that. That's the particular expertise that we have, but we have partnerships and try and combine with everybody so that when that patient comes in, we can say, okay, here's a referral for this, you can try this, you can try these things, because healthcare has to be self-advocation as well. You just can't go to the doctor and say, what's wrong? Mm-hmm. You know, they're highly trained in those things, but you also have to learn to advocate for yourself and say, well, what about this? Can we try this? And any doctor worth their salt is going to say, you can try everything if it's not going to hurt you, you know, then work through it. But always talk to your physician and your audiologist about different things.
You always educate me when you come in, because it makes perfect sense, really. When you think about conversation, mm-hmm. stimulates your brain stimulates intelligence, right. and if you can't converse, then of course the possibility of dementia and other brain disorders can set in. Okay, now the next question for us, and in the next segment we'll talk about some of the items that you have, but people may wonder, okay, so why does the Heiser Hearing Institute, whose expertise is in hearing and helping people from preschool to adults, I mean, why are they doing a fundraiser?
Right.
And so now we can get into really some of the good that you do in giving back to the community.
Absolutely. Well, for us to produce the programming that we have, we need funding. And we have to pay the expertise. We have to house them. We have to do a lot of different things with that, all of them, and the technology, to make sure that the technology that we utilize is top end. And we do a lot, like through the clinic, to help generate our own money. But the shortfall that we try and do for the school and the school programs that we can do, and the educational programs, that's mainly where we raise a lot of money for, and to be able to do that so that these kids can come there free. You know, one of the goals that was set when we built the school in 2000 all the way from 1948 was, we want to make sure that any child who's deaf or hard of hearing that's within the community or can get to us, they'll get the same kind of education, early education, that you have through preschool. And it wouldn't matter whether you were, you know, from a socioeconomically challenged area or poor neighborhood, and your parents were both working, or Bill Gates. And you will get the same education, the same technology. All of that will be equalized no matter where you're from, who you are. It all stays the same until, and then we get them ready for public school.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, the name of the fundraiser is Butterflies in Motion. And coming up in the next segment, we'll talk about some of the items that you can bid on. We'll talk more about the good that Heiser Hearing Institute is doing in the community. And you can feel good about, when you go to Heiser Hearing Institute, you can feel good about the fact that your dollars are going to help children and help those who can't help themselves. So we'll take a break. Be right back with Brett Bachman. It is Wednesday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live.